Gatorade FUNdamentals. Fundamental number 1, always have your drip on lock.
Way too many hits, come and get some. Too many flows, pull and pick one. Don't make it bounce to the kick drum. Trying to get
Stay tuned for fundamental number 2, coming soon. Gatorade FUNdamentals. Fundamental number 2, always have your celebrations ready.
To the DJ play this one.
Stay tuned for fundamental number 3, coming soon.
This smells so good.
Hey, I think something's missing.
Don't worry, I got it.
That's Baby H right there. I'm Holly Coley Murchison. I'm an artist and cultural geographer based in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, originally from Harlem, New York. Growing up in New York, pace is everything. It's fast, it's movement, everything feels urgent. I've been practicing entrepreneurship since I was about 19 or 20. Almost 20 years later, I've been able to see what taking my time looks like. I remember begging my mom for an easy bake oven as a kid, you know, because you could put something in there and you could cook it real fast. Now I'm like, what does it take to treat the work like a stew and watch it build out over time? The minute I decided to shift my definition and understanding of work, everything else changed. My work doesn't give my life meaning. My life gives my work meaning. And who I am and how I embody that just trickles down into everything else.
Anthony Towns, and we're back again with Gatorade FUNdamentals. Celebrate all of your teammates.
To the DJ play this one.
Stay tuned for fundamental number 4, coming soon.
What does it take to be a great father? It's not what you're into. It isn't a love of golf or baseball or any sport for that matter. You can throw an amazing surprise party and never once play catch. It's not your talents. So what if you're not a photographer, an artist, or a barbecue pit master? You could be a one-star griller, but also an all-star dad. It's not even your style of parenting. Maybe you use a virtual assistant to help with algebra, or ease everything from sore throats to broken hearts with ice cream. If someone is who they are today because of you, that's what matters. And that's what being a great father is all about. Happy Father's Day.
Gatorade FUNdamentals. Fundamental number 4, always be pranking. And always go next level.
Stay tuned. Fundamental number 5 coming soon.
So when I first tried daring, for me, I thought it was revolutionary because we're always looking for the next protein that's not always animal-based for our guests.
One of the first things I thought about daring was just how versatile the protein is. What we can use it and the many different avenues we can walk down with this product.
When I first tried daring, I was just surprised that it's 5 simple ingredients. That kind of simplicity, packing that much of a punch, and having that much versatility, it's unmatched.
For me, it's just like eating regular protein, regular chicken, and I would love to share with everybody.
Yeah, I was surprised by how great and flavorful the product is by itself, and when you also season it, it's a really good product.
So the reason why we think it's so important to have plant-based options because people are changing the way they eat. We want to set the trends for that.
Plant-based options on the menu, the same reason it is to have fish on the menu. We're in the hospitality business. We're here to make people happy, and if this is one of the avenues we can use to do it, then we need to.
We don't want people to have to sacrifice for coming to one of our restaurants.
Gatorade Fundamentals. Fundamental number 5. A good handshake makes you stand out. Stay tuned for fundamental number 6. Coming soon.
This is hands-on, how to clean your running shoes. Once my shoes are clean on the outside, it's definitely important to get all the moisture out of the shoes. Stay clear of the dryer. It's not your friend. Using a dryer can warp your shoes. Best thing is to keep it air dry. Hopefully it doesn't rain outside, because then all your work is wasted. To help maintain the shoe in the shape, stuffing newspaper inside is a pretty good way to keep the form. Shove it in. I like to leave the newspaper in overnight to help absorb all the moisture in the shoe. Anything sooner, you'll still be running in wet, sloppy shoes. But the most favorable preference I like to use is rice. Same idea if you drop your phone in the toilet, the rice will help absorb the moisture. I'm going to remove the insole and laces. Especially when it gets really wet, I like to put rice inside of it to absorb the water, and I leave it overnight. Behold, here's my clean shoes. It's a little bit of work, but it's worth it. It's important to clean your shoes in the grand scheme of it. You're wasting less, gives them a longer life, and you're gaining a connection with your shoe that way.
It's Carl Anthony Towns, and this is Gatorade Fundamentals. Fundamental number 6. You don't always need a big stadium to get big buckets. That's a bucket. That's a bucket. Them is buckets. Bucket, bucket, bucket. I actually need a bucket.
Enjoy dozens of world monuments like the Arc de Triomphe, Tokyo Tower, or the Brooklyn Bridge right from your backyard. Here's how. Download the Google app if you don't have it. Search Arc de Triomphe. Scroll down and tap View in 3D. Then view in your space. Voila!
First is we have some flour. Do you want to put about a cup of that in there?
Sure.
We're going to add some cold water.
Do you put like the whole cup?
Go for it. Amazing. And then we're gonna stir this up. Cool.
Sometimes you see something from like the flea market and you just want to repair it and wear them because they're rare.
A lot of those shoes are like still pretty good to go.
Yeah, they have like the sentimental value. Right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we've gotten it to kind of this like doughy consistency. We're gonna add some alum. Gonna help make a little bit stickiness. And then last thing is we're gonna add some boiling water. Let's stir it up. Who wants some eggs? So we're gonna let this cool off and then we're gonna have some homemade glue. All right, so I think we're gonna start applying this to...
My name is Raj. I'm a senior product designer at Nike. I have tried to take Molly running and that doesn't always work out that great. This is hands-on, how to clean your running shoes. After quite a few runs and it's at a pretty bad state, it gets the full treatment. Make sure the mud is dry, so it's easier to brush off all the debris. Right now I have a special brush that I got from Germany. It's a horsehair that really gets into nuts and cracks. First, to washing machine or not. Many runners think nothing of tossing shoes in washing machines. Typically, I'd never do. I prefer to hand wash it because I have more control. Some things I would use to clean my shoes are washing up liquid, a sponge. Some people have suggested all these like specialty soaps, but what works for me is just normal standard dish soap. Let's try it out. Woo! I suggest not to keep your shoes on and hosing it down because you'll get wet feet. It's nice to have one of these little brushes to get into all the little parts. Give them a good enough cleaning to give them a little bit of extra life. I like to dry it off with kind of any towel or rags. And that's it. That's how you clean your shoes. Ready for your next run. It's important to clean your shoes and to give them that extra bit of life and help the earth because that's the only one we have. And it's not just for us, it's for all of humankind.
Ariza is just a collection of my experience, really. I just sort of combine those flavors, so Malaysian, Vietnamese, and also my experience in Tasmania as well. As a owner and operator, to me, I've never liked the fact that I sit back and let my staff do the work. I actually like to get in and then, lead by example. If there's a broken glass, I'll be one of the first to run out and pick it up. Dirty table, I'll be out there wiping, I'll clean the floors. Like, you just do whatever needs to be done. You always got to be on the ball, looking at the figures, always trying to create something new. Something's not working, you switch it up. Square helps me on the front line by letting me be on the front line. It's enabled me to focus on what I love doing, and that's to, create the food, interaction with my customers, and it just enables the staff to take on more of the responsibility. With the first COVID shutdown, it was so simple to get our Square website up and running. Click, drag, drop, put in your pictures, put in the pricing, and it was ready. It's like a critical component of my business now. To me, the new Square Sand is just a very intuitive unit. It's not your traditional bulky item that I found. So it's almost like a point-of-sale supermodel. You can flip the screen around and go, would you like me to print you a receipt? And they'll just drive it themselves. I love the transparency that it creates. It's just a really open, honest transaction. My name is Ian. This is my business, Ariza. I run a Malaysian-style restaurant at the Hanging Garden, Hobart, Tasmania. Welcome.
Hi. What's up, man? This must be the Wonder Kid.
Oh, no, man. I don't know about that, but I am excited to talk to you.
Your last NFT? Fire.
Thank you.
What's next? You got anything from when your mom paid off that side piece?
Nah, I don't have anything like that.
Yeah, my bad. No disrespect. I just thought it made sense, after the first one.
Yeah, Micah's next few projects are going to be capitalizing on his mother's campaign.
Really? Now that is interesting. Political NFTs are kind of a landmine, man. But when they explode, so what's the angle?
All right, well, I'm all about moving the culture forward, So I've been studying with this guy named Rahad Stevens. He's a photographer. All his stuff is next level. He's about disrupting, reclaiming, rewriting the narrative.
Disrupting, reclaiming, that is dope. We rolling, boys?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Gotta relax, relate.
Micah.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Let's make some money.
Ryan Coogler, the director, said to me, Hannah, vibranium isn't what made Wakanda. It's the people that made Wakanda. I'm Hannah Beekler, and I'm a production designer. I grew up in the Midwest in rural Ohio, and it was really just my brothers and sisters and I. We would go out in the woods by the creek, and we would build little castles. We would pretend that we were on an island. Being a production designer is a lot like being an architect. We're building the sets. We're designing the world that you're seeing. So the first day on Panther, Ryan says to me, okay, Wakanda, clears his throat and says, I need to know how many people, how big it is, where it is, what do people do, what is the history, how do people get there, what does each tribe do, what is Golden City's history? And I said, what? I said, excuse me? And that is exactly what my mission was. I started slowly realizing how important this was. And then I got a little scared, to be quite honest. It was such a bigger than me experience. So I just went back to the little girl on the creek who just built a world. There's a little over 1,000 pages that I've created of all the science, all the information about Wakanda and beyond. I started digging into science and using biomimetics as it pertains to the stories, because I'm building crazy stuff that's supposed to be futuristic. What it has done is empowered me to be able to do more for others. It makes me feel as though I'm taking care of people. I want to make sure that I'm telling a story from an African-American point of view and not feeling like I'm the hyphen in between those two words anymore. It's the thing that makes me feel most at peace when I'm doing it. So I know that it's the right thing to do.